Michael.
Good morning, good evening, and good night. My name is Charles Blain, the host of this week's episode of the BCM Podcast. To my right, it is Michael Searle, and below us, it is Brad Swail with Nancy Pelosi's liberal tears.
Well, I'm more than that.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Goodness gracious. She's an older woman.
Why do you protect the you get so
Protect
mad
the elderly because they need our help.
She doesn't want to protect you.
I don't care.
That's not.
Would you not help someone who doesn't want to help you? Like, what if you saw someone in the street who hated you? Would you not help them? They were getting jumped.
So you're asking if you were in the middle of the street and needed help?
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. We have a lot to talk about. Most of it is going to deal with the federal government because there's been a lot of talk this week about things going on at the national level, from UFOs to cabinet appointments to weird ethics issues that may or may not be coming out by the end of the day. So we've got a lot to talk about. So you guys, what's been the craziest thing that you've heard this week?
We're going to talk about it in the show later.
What a question.
Oh, okay. All right.
The craziest thing I've heard this week in the news.
I don't know.
Kirk Watson won his re-election for mayor by 17 votes.
14
votes. And he thinks that he's acting like it's a big win, like it's a mandate.
Wow. Now let's give the audience some perspective here. Kirk Watson is the mayor of
Austin, Texas.
Okay. Took a little long there. But yes, he is the mayor of Austin, Texas. That's nuts that he won by 17 votes. That's nuts.
So nuts. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, man. God, like way bigger than Donald Trump's re-election. Am I right?
I mean, a mayor of a major city winning by 17 votes is like a pretty crazy.
Well, avoiding a runoff by 14 votes, not winning by 14 votes.
Huh?
He has to have more.
Oh, he avoided a runoff by 14
votes.
That's still pretty crazy. How many candidates were in the field?
5.
And when was the last time a mayor in Austin has avoided a runoff?
Last time Steve Adler ran in his re-election in 2018.
It's not that crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's not that crazy. But there are still apparently 1,200 outstanding votes in Williamson County, according to some Twitterati, and that could tip the scale. But he's claiming victory.
Are they votes that haven't been counted, or are they like super special votes because they're outstanding?
I think they might be super special.
Well, that's interesting. We'll see what happens because actually today, 2,000 outstanding votes, provisional mail-in ballots were counted in Harris County, which led to the overturning of one of our judicial races. The 133rd District Court got flipped because of those 2,000 outstanding votes. And so you never know what could happen.
You never know. Man, wise words.
Yeah. So where I want to get started today is on the biggest news of the week, right? Like, I mean, come on.
What is happening with Charles today?
No, I want to talk about the cabinet appointments because we've had a heck of a week of cabinet appointments. And I guess we're gonna wait to see if they're going to be appointed via recess appointment or sworn in. Or hearings. Anyway, the point is that we've had a week of cabinet appointments. And I don't necessarily want to go through them all. We can, but I don't necessarily want to go through them all. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about them, but primarily what you think are the best and which you think are the worst cabinet appointments so far.
Go, Michael.
Brad.
Go, Michael. So I downloaded Truth Social just so I could see who the appointments were. Who are the best? I'm going to probably have a contrarian view here. The ones that the media are losing their mind about the most are actually the best picks. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health and Human Services. Very interested that Jared Polis, the Democratic governor of Colorado, came out in Colorado came out in support of that nomination. That's my top one. Number 2, Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. No, number 2 is Tulsi Gabbard for DNI, and then 3, Matt Gaetz for Attorney General are my favorite picks. My least favorite picks are, one in particular, Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. Ugh.
That's your least favorite pick?
Why is it your least favorite pick? Because you're mad that
it's Marco Rubio and this is Michael Searle. Come on.
Yeah, he's
I'm
neocon.
sorry for trying to make a conversation on a podcast, Charles.
He's a neocon through and through. Like, I thought we were saying no neocons in the administration, and he appointed Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. He's a neocon. He supports the Ukraine war. He supports war with Iran, with China, with continuing in the Middle East. He supported every war that's ever been in front of his face. My hope is that he is going to take direction from Trump, the Trump White House, and the new Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and others.
Now, why would he pick? That is sort of it seems out of left field a little bit, picking Marco Rubio. I'm not sure. Does it go to a special election, his seat, or is it an appointment by DeSantis?
Appointment by DeSantis.
So, okay, we're not going to, so there's no chance of losing that Republican seat, but maybe DeSantis will pick a more, I don't know, less neocon person.
Well, Rick Scott, the other senator from Florida, is pushing Lara Trump, and apparently there's like a big push now that is rallying behind her. Which
music sensation Lara Trump?
I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like that's kind of doing. We're getting in the realm of doing the whole Clinton Biden-esque thing where we're just like, oh, you're the son or the daughter of someone. Well, you should be like. I don't know if that's the case, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, she was also the successful head of the Republican National Committee, the RNC, and led a Trump landslide election. And she's wicked smart.
I'm not. This is not a knock on her credentials at all. I'm just saying though. There are a lot of people who could do that job in Florida who, if she were not where she is at the RNC, would probably be in the running for that. And the reason that she is where she is in the RNC is also because of who her father-in-law.
I think
but if they pick her,
I mean, I think Trump likes Rubio. This is the sense I get from watching what happened. I think he was seriously considering him. Maybe he was the front runner for Veep, and he got persuaded to pick JD Vance, which ended up being the right pick in the end by his son, Charlie Kirk types, the MAGA crew. And he probably told Rubio, I like you. I'm going to put you at Secretary of State, but I'm not about all these wars like you are. We're going to bring an end to the Ukraine war. And I think he thinks he can probably manage his worst instincts, or at least that's how I'm viewing it for now. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Without your bravery, we're all out of luck. No, this can't be denied.
Is this serious?
You gotta
never see this. And this is not her only endeavor into music.
Takes a lot to put your last.
Go on your iTunes and pull it up.
That is so good.
She's not good at singing.
Brad, what is your favorite and least favorite pick?
Wait, did you say I was busy trying to find that clip. Did you say your guess as to why he picked Little Marco?
Yeah, I think he likes. Yeah, I think he was the front runner for Veep. I just said all this. I think he was the front coming in hot.
That's wait, why that? That's a weird question. I mean, you have to answer questions from the chat.
Well, of course, Brian Searle.
Naturally.
Naturally.
So who's my favorite? My favorite
and least favorite.
Favorite and least favorite. I mean, it's great that R.F. Kennedy's being, putting up there for Secretary of Health and Human Services. Other than that, I don't know. I don't really care. That I mean, is Pete? What's his name? Hegseth? What kind of name is that?
Hegseth.
I think that's kind of a cool pick. It's interesting. I don't know a whole lot about him. It's cool that he's from the outside. I've listened to some of his speeches, and it seems like a lot of people are pissed off that the right people are pissed off that he's not like a defense contractor or, in bed with the defense contractors. So I think it's cool.
Pick, you're it's your favorite pick?
I'm sorry, what?
That's your favorite pick?
Oh, RFK for Secretary of Health and Human Services is my favorite pick. I mean, Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum, is kind of a cool pick. Am I right? Doug being like the most exciting person ever to be in politics. Charles, he was your favorite, I think. Tulsi Gabbard, famously on a no-fly list, I believe, is now the Director of National Intelligence. So I guess she gets to figure out why she was on a no-fly list. Don't delete those files, CIA or whoever did that.
No, those are gone.
No, you can't do that. What do they do? Bleach bit it?
Is Burgum official though? I haven't seen a truth.
I
Wow.
saw, Caitlin Collins
Oh, God, you are so mad.
reported that he said it last night at the AFPI dinner, that Trump said it at the AFPI dinner.
He just hasn't had time to truth it out. Burgum.
Why did Brian Searle's YouTube account get hacked? What happened?
No,
From work.
some guy from work grabbed his phone and typed that first one. Which guy from work?
Yeah, which guy?
Is he interested or what's up?
No.
Oh, yeah,
What about you, Charles?
Grinder.
I don't have a favorite pick, I don't really have a least favorite. I'm just kind of like milquetoast about them all, to be completely honest. I don't really have a.
Yeah, is this another one of those things where like you don't feel things, like you said last week?
No, I just feel like people are pumped about some of them. I don't know. I'm not really too excited about anybody. I think they're going to hopefully do some good stuff. There were some good other people in the first administration there were people who seemed to be good when they were appointed in the first administration, then turned out to not be good. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I don't really feel much one way or the other. One way or the other. I think the RFK one could. I don't know. I didn't know who RFK was until obviously this cycle, and I say obviously because quote unquote the normie. And so I'm interested to see what happens. Oh, Tom Homan. Okay, that's the one. Tom Homan, because something's actually with the border. I think that's probably
Tom Homan's a good pick. That guy's cool.
He was the one who, when they asked if how you were going to deport all these people if they had family, he said you deport their families.
Yeah, on 60 Minutes. And then when AOC was grilling him up at the Hill, as the insiders call it, she was grilling him about separating kids from families. And he's like, when you arrest parents, they get separated from their kids. That's normal. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And then that Pajayak, or what the hell her name was, I can't remember her name, Congresswoman grilling him. I guess. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Oh, that one.
Oh, that one, Charles?
I meant that one is in. That's who he's.
We don't talk that way on this show. He fucking snapped back at her. Said, "You work for me. I'm a taxpayer." We need
that
more
was
of that.
pretty awesome.
Wait. Okay. So, follow-up question to this about favorite and least favorite picks. Do you think some of these appointees are just figureheads? Meaning, like, do you think Rubio is genuinely going to be leading foreign policy? Do you think what's her name is genuinely going to be leading the strategy at the UN, or do you think these are all just figureheads and
at least
Elon Musk is running the show?
Elon Musk
Or whoever.
Probably Vivek. He's running the show.
Yeah, I think that some of them are figureheads, like Pete Hegseth. He's a figurehead. There are going to be people behind the scenes that are actually running the policy for the DOD, not him. He's going to be talking about that?
Why him? Why single him out?
Because he's a TV news guy.
Well, he's also he works a lot with veterans and veterans affairs, and he's a veteran himself.
Yeah,
has been in war.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make him qualified for the job, but he's also an author. Does that count?
I think I saw something. He went to like Harvard and somewhere else, and he deployed to Bahrain and Iraq, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it's part of I don't know if it was the reserves or I don't know. I don't know his background, so I can't.
But yeah, I think some of them are going to be figureheads. I think some of them are actually going to be doing the job. Like Kristi Noem's a figurehead. Whoever her deputy is going to be, whether it's Chad Wolf or somebody like that, like will actually be running the show.
That is weird that Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security. What is that? What is happening? Why her? Are there too many dogs in this world? What's happening?
Yeah, she lost me after she killed the dog.
Same.
I don't understand why her. Like, what is Secretary of Homeland Security? Dumb it down. What do they do?
Homeland Security?
They make you shoes off.
They oversee the border patrol. They oversee ICE. They oversee the NSA. So
what is this North Dakota bitch doing that for? Is there a bunch of Canadians that she has experience with? Why not someone with experience with the border?
Well, he's got Tom Homan doing the border stuff.
Oh my God.
Kristi Noem is just running the agency. And hey, look, I won't pivot us, but she's probably more of a figurehead. And there are going to be people like Stephen Miller and Tom Homan who are actually implementing border policy for the Trump administration, not Kristi Noem.
You know who's been rumored to be Secretary of Education?
No.
Who?
Lauren
Boebert.
Get out of here. No, she is not. Has she
That
really?
is in the rumor mill. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, one thing these appointments have us leaving is we don't have any governors of the Dakotas anymore. There are none.
Yeah,
so-
Burgum and Noem. What's
What do we
going to
do
happen?
now?
I guess they have special elections.
I don't know. What the bison vote? I don't know what happens.
A bison vote?
You should move to the Dakotas and be the governors. Here's one thing that stood out if you take a step back and look at this, like significant change from 2016 Trump. I'll just read some of the names from that list. Jeff Sessions, Rex Tillerson, James Mattis, John Kelly, Mike Pompeo, Scott Pruitt. Like, he filled his previous administration in these positions with neocons, and now we've just got one. So that's an improvement.
I mean, I would say two at least.
Who's the second? Ratcliffe?
Well, Stefanik and Rubio.
Oh, yeah, Stefanik.
You guys are playing with fire, talking smack about Stefanik. I tell you, you're going to piss off some wrong people.
Next one. So Gaetz sex trafficking.
Is he sex trafficking, or is he just accused of having sex with a 17-year-old?
No, I think he's accused of sex trafficking.
Oh,
He's
and
accused-
But he's also accused of having sex with a 17-year-old. Yes.
He's accused of, before he was married and in Congress, he was flying younger women into DC and having sex with them. And there are rumors from the House floor that he was bragging about it, showing pictures and videos to his colleagues. And there was a House ethics investigation into it. There was an FBI investigation into the allegations. The FBI decided to not bring any charges. The Ethics Commission has a report, but will they release it if he's no longer a sitting member of Congress? Will they lose their jurisdiction? So I don't know if they'll release it or not, but those are the allegations. They have not obviously been proven, and the FBI didn't find it had enough evidence to bring charges.
As
They
we
may not
started this
release
show,
it. They may not release it because of jurisdiction questions. I don't understand. It's a report of someone that they were investigating while he was a sitting member. Why is I mean, you made a report, release it. What the fuck are you talking about jurisdiction? Maybe you don't do it. You don't start the investigation after he resigns. That makes sense as far as jurisdiction goes. But you already done the work.
But it's a report on the allegations and recommendations on what to do. And now that he's no longer a sitting congressman, they no longer have jurisdiction. So I thought the head of the commission or the committee said yesterday that he's not going to release the report.
he did say that. And then today, the speaker said, right before we got on the show, he said that it would go against precedent to release it. And so they're not going to release it. But everybody's saying that it's going to be leaked because apparently the committee head and Gaetz really hate each other, so they're expecting it to be leaked. And to your point about the videos on the House floor, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen was saying that he used to go around showing them videos and stuff in an interview. Like, you can go look up the interview. And so I don't know, but he's going to be
showing videos of young women while not that you're not supposed to kiss and tell. Matt Gaetz, 1, 2, especially not on that House floor. 3, looking at video. I mean, how does that person know that they were like, what is it underage girls or is it of age? Is it just sex trafficking? I don't understand. Is it underage sex trafficking? What's the detail?
I think it's a little bit of it all. There was sex trafficking. There was a lot of girls. There was one girl who said that she was 17. And so I think there's a mixed bag of things.
Okay.
All of this alleged, obviously.
Well, I think we should see the report. No?
Taxpayers paid for it.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I think we're going to see the report just because of the Senate confirmation. I mean, of the picks here, I think RFK and Gaetz are probably the most controversial and are going to receive the most scrutiny. I think it was a mistake for the Democrats and even the Republicans to oppose Kennedy, but that's a separate issue. I think they will draw the most scrutiny. There will be possibly FBI background checks. And I would think the people that are opposed to Gaetz, which is probably more than half of the Republican caucus in the House, are going to make sure that report sees the light of day if it makes him look bad.
to your point about the FBI background checks, there was a report out today that said that the administration's kind of, for a number of candidates, bypassing those and using their own, I guess, efforts and then hiring third-party ones. So we'll see what comes of that. To the question, but though before about are these figureheads, do you think he's a sacrificial lamb?
No, I don't.
No. Do you think
I think Trump genuinely wants him to be AG, and I love it.
Brad, how do you feel about it?
I feel like Michael might be wrong and that Tulsi Gabbard might be the most controversial pick. Here's AOC.
And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating.
Michael.
And Tulsi Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals,
including
abroad.
In Syria.
And let's be very clear, a Tulsi Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Point blank, period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States.
What are these fools? What are these?
Preach it, girls.
What are these idiots talking about? AOC, you voted for the Ukraine war. You voted for funding to Israel. Shut your mouth. Go put your pronouns back in your bio. Nobody's listening to you. You have no credibility. Tulsi Gabbard is anti-war. You're not. You threw your anti-war supporters under the bus when you started supporting Israel and Nancy Pelosi. I don't want to hear anything from her. And the best you can do is cast aspersions at a person who served in the military and has been opposing war since the 2020 Democratic primary when you guys threw her out of the party because you are the pro-war party. No, thank you, AOC.
So clip that starting at 21:20.
I think Michael has a crush on Tulsi Gabbard.
I do.
I think what she might have been saying is that, and I'm not agreeing with her, but I think what she was trying to say is that Tulsi Gabbard is okay with war in other places, like Russia devastating Ukraine with war. Tulsi Gabbard doesn't care about that, and so she's pro-war in that sense. Whereas she's anti, she doesn't want America getting involved. She's like, yeah, that's not our problem. You'll figure it out, right? I think that's what she was saying. No,
it's a bad argument.
I'm not agreeing.
She might be saying that, but the facts don't match the facts don't match reality. She supported us sending aid to Ukraine and prolonging that war instead of engaging in the peace process in the first few months of the war and it never happening, which Tulsi Gabbard did support. So I can't even take her seriously.
Okay. What about Joy? What about Joy Reid? Can you take her seriously?
Yes.
There's two people there, Michael. Let's not forget.
Okay.
Did you see that she took her pronouns out of her bio?
Yeah, I think isn't she pregnant?
I think people keep saying that. I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence of it.
What happens when Handmaid's Tale is coming to life? So you got to take your pronouns out of the bio so that you don't start wearing those red robes. Did you guys see that the red robes were sold out on Amazon, but only like the XXL size? Pretty crazy.
She took the pronouns out of the bio.
No, you just muted yourself, dude.
And you went robot for a second there.
Yeah.
She took her pronouns out of her bio, but she also changed it from U.S. Representative Carrollton District 14 to U.S. Congresswoman. And so I feel like that's your pronoun right there. I feel like she went and just put that there. But is abandoning the movement? Is it because I think some people are saying that this shows that it's gone too far and even she's pulling back from it. Do you think that's the case? Do you think that's actually the case?
I don't understand what you're saying. Like, because she's U.S. Congresswoman, you think that's her call? She
had U.S. representative before. She changed it to U.S. Congresswoman and then took
you see pronouns in bios and at the end of emails of very obvious men and women that are like, there's no question that you're a man or a woman. And it's always kind of confused me. Why do you do that? Like, you're obviously a man. You don't need to tell me. I know you're a dude. Right.
Right. I think the same thing for her.
I understand that it's virtue. I understand that part of it, but like, what's going on in their head? Like, I wonder if somebody thinks that I'm not a man.
No, I think they're virtue signaling.
I don't know, man. It's pretty fucking weird.
Which is why I think she did it too. Like, I don't think anyone was questioning whether or not AOC was a man or a woman.
She is very hot, though.
AOC?
Favorite big boob Latina.
But if you go back to the controversial, I don't think it matters who's controversial among the Democrats. That doesn't really matter. Where it matters whether it's controversial is among establishment Republicans. And that's why I think Gaetz is the most controversial because he's got so many enemies within his own party, and RFK is most controversial because all those people are sitting on stacks of money from Big Pharma in the Senate. So for those two reasons, I think those two are more controversial than Tulsi. I guess her biggest thing would be like, you're a former Democrat, but I don't know that rises to the level of the two things.
Don't you think Big Pharma is going to come out heavy against RFK and like try to, I don't know, pull some strings? They wouldn't do that. Yeah. We live in a totally non-corrupt, system, but just if they could, right?
I think so.
Oh,
you saw their stock price yesterday, right?
What happened?
They had little 3 and 4 point dips while the rest of the market was going up when RFK was announced.
Good time to
there
buy.
was some reporting out that said this morning, I think 10 Republicans had said they wouldn't support Gaetz. So I definitely think he's probably the biggest liability for I think somebody was saying that because they're senators, a lot of them are at least 4 years from their election. And so they're less concerned about the backlash if they were to oppose him. So we'll see. But I think, I don't know how many publicly said it, but the reporting I saw this morning said there were at least 10 that were indicating or saying that they would not support him. Publicly or privately?
I don't know. I think he's going to get them.
Well,
I think he's going to get everybody he wants.
InfoWars,
I could see.
Go ahead.
I could see Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski opposing it, but I don't know.
I wonder if my internet connection's being fucked right now.
Can we do the not Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert one now?
We're going back to this. You don't know who it is.
We didn't even do it yet.
I know, but you're going back to you not knowing who it is. Like you don't know who Lauren Boebert is.
Well, I didn't see the video, so I thought he was talking about Nancy Mace heading up the hearing. So can we do the Lauren Boebert one now in the UFOs?
Yeah. So there, Michael, tee it up. No, I got the. Yeah. I'll pull up the videos. You just tee up the topic. Come on.
Yeah. So Wednesday there was our second UFO hearing with former, I guess, CIA and member of presidential advisory boards, Luis Elizondo. They had journalist Michael Schellenberger, who released the Immaculate Conception report, and then they had the former head of NOAA testifying, and I forget what the third guy's title was, but they had a hearing led by Nancy Mace in the House about UFOs and what the government knows. It was on Wednesday, and these four guys who are pretty credible. Schellenberger, I guess, is the only one without direct involvement into what the government's doing on UFOs, but he is reporting on it. And they asked him some questions, and one of the questions really stood out because Lauren Boebert took it to a whole new level of crazy.
So here is her, I guess, intro where she begins her time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now that we have all been cautioned in this committee hearing that the mention of Pentagon's Immaculate Constellation program could put us on a list, well, I already find myself on many lists, I'm sure. So I speak my mind often, so why not just keep going with it? May as well just go all out and say it. The earth is flat, birds are government drones, and we've never set foot on the moon, and Joe Biden received 81 million votes in the 2020 election. So let's see how many lists we could get on here today.
Wait, Jimmy, she's just kidding, right?
Well, kidding about what?
Partly.
Kidding about what?
The bulk of, the earth, she's kidding about the earth for sure, and the birds.
I don't know much about flat earth, but I do know this. There ain't nothing flat about those earths. Am I right, guys? Oh boy.
Did you find the other clip of her?
Yeah, I got it from a New York Post article where she goes on. It's a couple minutes long, but we can listen to some of her questions, and people are going nuts about it. So let's listen.
There are rumors that have come
This
up
one.
the Hill of a secretive project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genetics with what is described as non-human genetic material, potentially for the enhancement of human capabilities, hybrids. Are any of you familiar with that? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
I am not, ma'am.
I'm not.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I would like to know with Immaculate Constellation, how does this relate to UAP activity?
She says Immaculate Constellation. I think she said something else before. Michael, you said Immaculate Conception. What is this thing called?
Immaculate Constellation.
Immaculate Constellation. Okay.
In oceanic environments, are there any instances where the Navy or other maritime forces have encountered UAPs that could not be explained by known technology or natural phenomena?
Yeah, the Immaculate Constellation covers both terrestrial and oceanic, and there's actually a number of cases described in the report that occur in the ocean.
And do you believe that there is a concerted effort by the Pentagon to keep Congress out of the loop regarding these UAP activities, specifically in our waters?
Yeah.
I think it's about 5% of our ocean that's actually been studied in detail by man, and we've studied more of space than we had of our own oceans. And so, are there any accounts of UAPs emerging from or submerging into our water, which could indicate a base or presence beneath the ocean's surface?
I don't know about a base, but as I mentioned, I had a different source entirely describe this pretty extraordinary footage that exists of orbs, of an orb coming out of the ocean and being met by another orb.
Some would say that there's multiple hotspots where we see frequent activity. So in your investigations, have you come across any data or visual evidence like sonar readings or underwater footage of these UAPs?
I have not beyond what's in the report.
You've written about UAPs not only in the air but in underwater. Are
So-
there any
okay.
specifics on what you've learned about the UAP
Please don't
activity
interrupt her.
in our oceans? Particularly, have you spoken with sources who have provided any evidence or eyewitness accounts of these UAPs interacting with our naval forces or being detected by our underwater surveillance systems?
Nothing beyond what's in the report and then the specific case that I mentioned with the orb.
Okay. So she's saying there's underwater aliens.
Well,
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't the Tic Tac video? Didn't they go underwater?
The Tic Tac.
No. No.
Yeah. I feel like
They
I've
were just-
heard stories of them coming out of the water, right? You've heard that, surely, Michael.
Yeah, if you watch Investigation Alien, which is on Netflix, I would like to get paid for this promotion here. There is a video, according to George Knapp, the producer of it, of a craft going from the sky to inside the ocean. And then if you watch that hearing, she asks if there is any footage. I don't know if it's her, but maybe it was Nancy Mace. Somebody else asked if there's footage capturing these things underground and how fast are they going. And the response, I think, was from Elizondo, said, yes, we've picked them up on sonar data and they're going 1,000 times faster than our fastest submarines can go underwater.
1,000 times faster underwater. And so, why do we not think they're animals?
Animals?
Like underwater animals?
Like
Why are animals? You mean like animals going 1,000 times faster than submarines?
I mean, I'm sure 1,000 times faster is an estimate. I don't think it's probably like an actual calculation.
What if there was an animal that went twice as fast as a submarine?
Okay.
Would that be impressive?
I mean, I don't know how fast a submarine go.
I mean, it kind of seems
I'm
like
sure a whale goes faster than a submarine.
That's a good question. Let's look that up.
I'm almost certain.
You're on to something. Some of the other people were asking the same question. Are these things living beings, or are they technology? And I don't know that we know the answer to that.
Conundrum.
Okay, so a killer whale goes up to 34 miles per hour. A modern nuclear-powered submarine goes 35 miles per hour. A yellowfin tuna, a bluefin tuna goes 43 miles per hour up to, right? But that's not a sustained speed. So it would be impressive if there was an animal going twice as fast as a submarine for any amount of time, I think.
Okay, I simple Google fastest animal in oceans is sailfish, and it goes 68 miles an hour.
For how long?
Let's see.
Like, how long can it do that? Like a cheetah is really fast, but it can't do it forever. Right?
How long can sailfins swim at top speed? Only a few seconds at a time, short bursts.
Yeah, short bursts. There we go. So, are they animals? I think not, Charles.
So what do you
think? Well, he
are?
didn't say that they were going 1,000 times a mile, 1,000, whatever he said, for a long time. He just said they were doing it.
Well, 1,000 miles, 1,000 times faster than a submarine for any amount of time would be crazy.
Let's not get stuck on the 1,000. I might be embellishing.
What I'm saying is, when you're looking at when we're seeing quote unquote footage of UFOs.
Why do you put that in quotes? Were you trying to piss off Michael?
And they kind of zip from one side to the other side. That's probably the same thing that's happening in the underwater footage, is that zipping somewhere. So what if it is a sailfish? I'm just saying, I do think that if anything, it's probably an octopus. If we're talking about underwater aliens, I think that's what we're talking about. But I'm not talking about
the Amazon series, The Boys.
I don't think so.
No, well, there's a character in there. His superpower is like being able to. He's like Submariner. He's he talks with fish and stuff like that, and he falls in love with an octopus and has sex with it many times. And I feel like that might be you, Charles, because you just like octopuses.
Because they're the closest things that we have to aliens that we can actually catch.
What about the closest things we have aliens that we can't catch?
Like what?
I don't know. That's what I'm talking. That's my question to you.
What do you think it is, Brad?
Aliens.
Like little green men from another planet?
Why do they have to be little green men?
Well, there are different species, but there are little green species, and there are large gray species, and there are other species. But
I think it's the wards.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. You got a problem with that?
Nope.
Good. You shouldn't. Charles has no idea.
I think it's probably just the wires that they lay on the ocean for the internet to connect to like the UK and the North America and stuff like that.
When is that going to be wireless? You know what I mean?
One day, but not yet.
We still rely on these big old wires for the internet. Isn't that kind of weird? Isn't it?
There's a lot of money in the wire. There's a lot of money in the wire business. So for those interested, I watched the hearing or listened to it, and I don't think there were any major takeaways from the last hearing that was that much different. So it was a little bit of a letdown.
My thing is, if there were water aliens, we would have caught one by now.
Did you both freeze?
No,
I don't think so.
Neither one of us did.
Or am I frozen?
You were. Maybe you were. I don't know what's going on.
Are you still frozen?
Yeah.
Do you hear us, Michael?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I think there's something to that. There was something to that hearing, and Lauren Boebert was spitting fire over there. Come on. Birds aren't real. Come on.
The Earth is. That was funny. Yeah, they're government drones.
Finland. I'm surprised you didn't say that Finland's not real.
I don't get that one.
Well, that's also a conspiracy theory. So
that the country of Finland is not real.
That's correct.
Then what is it?
Tell us more.
It just doesn't exist.
Have you never met a person from Finland?
I don't think I have, but I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just telling you that is a conspiracy. I also brought up Lauren Boebert saying birds aren't real. Doesn't mean I believe it.
No, I'm not saying I'm not suggesting you believe it. I'm wondering what the theory is. The land like the country doesn't exist, or the landmass doesn't exist.
I want to say it's the landmass, and therefore the country.
So both. Interesting.
I've
never heard this one.
I can't. Well, the landmass could not exist, but the country could be somewhere else, right?
Finland's conspiracy states that Finland is not a real country. Not only is it not a real country, but there is actually no landmass there at all, and the space between Sweden and Russia is actually empty ocean.
See?
Feel like we could go up there and check that out.
Yeah, like pretty.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they say about the Antarctic ice wall, right?
What is that?
Oh, you got to go down the flat Earth The flat Earth rabbit hole, Charles.
Well, the Earth is round. The truth about I got to go to this website next to Truth About Antarctica. I'll bookmark it. But yeah, I forgot. I don't even know what tangent we just went down because I had something to say and I forgot what it was.
Finland.
No, it was well before Finland. It was like 5 minutes ago.
UFO hearing.
Yeah. If UFOs, if aliens were in the ocean, I feel like we would have caught one, because like it's not the same thing as being in space. It would have died and got caught in a tide or a net or something like that where we would have had it. Whereas in space, like if it goes in space, like how do you get that, right?
Well, the counter to that would be we've only explored a very small percentage of the ocean, and maybe they sink to the bottom.
Maybe they do sink to the bottom. But whales wash up. They bump their head on one of those wind turbines, and then they wash up on the shore, right? So you feel like an alien might do the same, just sort of bump.
Well, they do say that the Bigfoot creatures, they go and they get the dead and they bring them back to wherever they live. So maybe the aliens in the ocean do that too. Maybe they go get them and bring them back.
I don't know.
All right, this was a great conversation. All right, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, is it a scam or is it real?
DOGE?
Yeah.
Is it a real department?
Well, no, we know it's not a real department, but is it?
So it sounds like a scam.
Okay.
Right?
No.
I think that they can. I think they'll make recommendations, and I think that they'll try to push really hard. But isn't it like who's going to approve the recommendations?
I'm going to push back because it's not a real department. The real departments are the scams.
Sure,
so
agreed.
Because it's not a real department does not make it a scam. But go on.
Well, the point that if they are not a real department that has any sort of real, like they haven't been granted any power to actually do anything except for just make recommendations, those recommendations would go to Congress next, correct?
Or the
correct.
Department.
Well, some of it can be done through executive action because the president is the executive over the agencies. So if they're making recommendations on, for example, cutting staff, that can be done without congressional approval.
There we go. Cut it.
So you have to think of it essentially as an auditing firm. They're going to throw into all these agencies and figure out how to make them more efficient. And I've heard the talk that they're just going to indiscriminately start firing large chunks of the staff.
Good.
But here's my issue with it. If you think about the 4 largest expenditures within the federal government, this isn't going to do anything to address them.
Don't say what they are. We have to guess.
I know what they are.
Go.
I'm going to say defense, health, employees, or like HR. I don't know what the other two. What are they?
Social Security, Medicare, defense. And I had the 4th one, and then Charles just like totally threw me off with his employees comment. I'm like, what the fuck? What was it? You threw me off. What was the 4th one?
Interest on the debt.
That's right.
Wait, so it's interest on the debt, defense, Social Security, and Medicare?
Security. Yep.
Okay, Medicare is health.
Yeah, you were right on the first 2. I counted the first 2.
Health doesn't count. You can't just say health.
We literally have a health department.
Ugh.
So other than finding efficiencies within the DOD and within the Medicare, like I think one of the examples they pointed out was that I can't remember the program, but money was being given to deceased individuals through one of these programs. So finding things like that, they can trim it. But like in terms of the overall size of the federal budget and the deficit, like I really think the purpose of DOGE is to reduce the size of the administrative state. It's not really going to significantly reduce the size of our budget, if that makes sense.
Well, that's unfortunate. If we're going to reduce the administrative state and not reduce the size of the budget, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it. We want to reduce the administrative state as well, but like, I think both. I think it needs to be a both and kind of thing. And I don't know. I kind of feel like it's like a PR stunt. I hope to be proven wrong, but it kind of feels like a PR stunt. What did they say initially that Elon could cut $3 trillion from the budget? Was it 3 or 2 or 3 trillion? I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. I really do. And I know that RFK said he was going to cut like 400 people from HHS, and everybody started going up in arms. And when you do the math, it's like, I think there's 20,500 employees, and he's cutting 80 what?
80,000.
80,400, and he's cutting 400. I mean, come on. So, and I mean, come on to the people complaining, not come on to him. But yeah, I mean, I hope they cut. I hope it proves to be true. I just feel like we've seen these blue ribbon commissions that go and cut and do this and make recommendations, and then nothing ever comes of it, or no one implements it, or they do implement it, and then the next administration goes back and reverses it all. But I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. What's interesting also about it to me is how it's being branded. Like if Trump got elected and he turned this over to your typical like fiscal conservative group, like it would be so much different and so less fun than DOGE with the dog pictures, and like they're just, I enjoy the branding of it, and the exercise is so technical and in the weeds it could bore people, but I think he'll keep Elon and Vivek, by doing it this way, will keep people interested and therefore keep the pressure on, which I like about it.
Are you guys going to be applying to help out?
I thought about it, but you guys have to DM them your CV. They call it a CV. One, this is not Europe. It's called a resume. One, two. I mean, you have to DM them. That sounds like a fucking scam.
Doesn't sound like a scam.
I thought about it too.
Security number.
I thought about it too, especially given that I think I was the first person in Texas to propose a full government efficiency audit of a major city in Texas. So I feel like I have that relevant experience. I don't know how to do the audit, but I thought it was a good idea.
Well, maybe now there's more appetite to do it in Texas, and you should repropose it and have a DOGE.
Austin went more left.
No. I don't mean from the city level, from the legislative level.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because, yeah.
DOGE, Texas.
But change the name, because I feel like the name was just so that these people get a boon to their stocks, their Doge coins, and they're going to benefit. I bet you, I would love to see who in the know purchased a bunch of Doge coins before.
You don't think I own Doge? You don't think Elon's going to try to monetize it for Doge in some way? He's going to tokenize it somehow to keep driving up the price. I love it. Go get Doge.
I mean, yeah, but you're using government to like, I don't know.
You're using governments for your own personal benefit? Well, Nancy Pelosi, who's 84, just filed for re-election. Speaking of using government for personal gain.
Okay, why would you think that I don't find Nancy Pelosi reprehensible? I don't understand.
I don't know how you could. The SS milk trucks are beautiful.
The difference being Nancy Pelosi in using government to benefit herself is only using it to benefit herself. Elon Musk, by pumping Doge, would be benefiting all Doge holders, including himself, but I would benefit.
So I guess that poses a moral question. If someone does that and it benefits a large swath of people, is that good or is it bad?
But it's not like he's going to take the excess money that the government saves and invest it into Doge, therefore driving up the price. He's doing it through marketing, and that's different. And yes, he'll benefit from it, but it's going to benefit a lot of other people who also hold Doge.
Yeah, and Doge is anybody can buy Doge. It's not restrictive. Anybody can do that. So I don't know that it's not picking winners and losers necessarily. It's just go buy it now. If you think it's going to help, go buy it.
It's probably a little too late. It probably went up immediately after the announcement of it. I'm looking and seeing if there's any information.
It's at a 3-year high as of yesterday.
Wow,
2 days
see,
ago.
I missed the boat. I should have did it before that.
Hey, it's still 50% below its all-time high.
What was his all-time high per share?
I think 68 cents per Doge.
Per Doge. Okay, so Doge, 2 or 3 of us say scam. 1 says real.
I don't think it's a scam. I just don't know how much power they're actually going to be able to wield. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's going to be fun.
It will be fun. It will be fun for sure. Absolutely.
I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be effective. But in terms of addressing the overall deficit, I think their strategy is it's not going to be done with just budget cuts. I think they think that in reducing the size and scope of the administrative state, they are going to unleash growth we've never seen before, the greatest growth. And in doing so, you're going to close the deficit. I'm not good at impressions. And in doing so, you're going to close the deficit through increased revenues, not through decreased spending. That's what I think.
What impression were you trying to?
I don't know. Trump.
Was it Trump or Elon Musk?
It was
Trump.
Donald
I'm not good at impressions. It's not my forte.
What I mean by scam is, and I guess maybe scam's not the best word, but what I mean by scam is the average person out there does not know what you just said. They think he just created this new government department to cut spending and to cut bureaucracy. They don't realize that it has no authority to do anything, and that it's kind of just a lever to push from the outside in. So that's what I mean by scam. Like, I feel like a lot of people genuinely think like, okay, he created this new thing, this new endeavor to push all these changes inside government, when really that's not it. And assuming, I mean, say in the worst outcome, everybody chose not to do what this administration wanted to do, none of these recommendations would be put in place, as opposed to if it was embedded in something.
Except for the one, yes, I do. Except for the ones that can be done by the president himself, which are a lot. When they come to the agencies, Musk is going to say, cut 75% of the staff at the Department of Education, and Trump can do that. It might get challenged in court, and we might get stuck in battle, and that would be good. So I don't want to diminish that it's going to be a good thing. I just, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of the federal government size, it's only going to be focused on a small portion.
Everyone's favorite Malaysian, Ian Miles Chong, has reported that President Trump is naming longtime loyalist and professional badass Stephen Chung, White House Communications Director. And there's Stephen Chung.
Who is that?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like he's about to do some more Asianized. I don't know.
Okay. So we had another topic, but I actually don't want to talk about it anymore. Does anybody else have
Why?
Because it's not that interesting now that
it's a weird question.
Well, it was based on an article I sent you guys before that. Did you not see the
read
article?
the article.
Yeah,
There's no truth.
There's no truth?
Yeah, Stephen Chung is not officially the communications director, but who is he?
Who is Stephen Chung? I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay, so
bad Asian guy.
In exchange for the topic that I was going to bring up, the question's going to be on day one, what would you hope if you can get anything you wanted through executive order with this president? You can go in there and you can say, write an executive order for this, and he's going to do it. It's going to be the first one. What would it be?
Whew. Just one?
Yes.
And it has to be an executive order or any action?
Oh my God. Why do you make this more difficult? Any action, whatever.
And the Ukraine war.
Okay. No, something he could actually do.
Release the JFK files.
Okay.
Pardon Snowden.
One thing, please.
It's live a wish list. I'm going to send it to him later, but pardon Snowden, release the JFK files, and the Ukraine war. Secure
What's
the border.
number one? What is the number one?
And I told you, end the Ukraine war.
No, that he could actually do. Is it JFK files? Is that the one that he could actually do on day one?
No, I'd rather see him pardon Snowden on day one.
Okay. Brad?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, you can't say something like secure the border because that's not something he can just do on day one. Like,
I think he could through executive order, like suddenly send 10,000 troops to the border and
that takes time and it doesn't happen on day one.
No, it doesn't have to be accomplished. I'm saying if you wanted an executive order, or if you wanted him to do something on day one, what would it be?
It's a good question. I don't know. I would want him to name you as the director of housing and urban development.
Sorry, I'm busy. Got a full schedule.
Make you
pick something.
Put your Yimby mouth where your money is. You know what I mean?
Pick something.
I like Brian Searle's idea. Hi, Tyler Delaire.
Hello, Tyler. I don't know. I mean, that's such a. I don't invest. Audit the Fed. Let's do that.
Ooh.
Okay.
Audit the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
Charles probably gets so mad when people say that. He's such a fucking New York Times normie.
Mine would be probably release the JFK files, UFOs, aliens. It would be release everything they have on aliens. Create a website, USAaliens.com.
Why not release everything they have on octopuses?
Because if they are aliens, they will be in that.
I don't know. Maybe it's a separate file.
But I wouldn't, if they have nothing to do with aliens, then it's less relevant. So release everything you have on aliens on usaaliens.com and .gov and upload it and let us go read through it. That'd be it. Tell us everything you know.
Brian Searle says Alex Jones for press secretary.
Alex Jones is in the fight of his life right now. The Onion, the purchase of InfoWars got blocked by a judge. I think Elon Musk's lawyers got involved because they weren't. The allegation is that the trustee, the government trustee, did not accept the highest bid. They accepted the Onion's bid with the backing of the Sandy Hook victims' families, and so the judge has blocked it. It seems
the Onion wasn't the highest bidder. Who was?
Snowden does not deserve a pardon. He stole information that then left the country and released it. That's not a whistleblower.
That's the definition of a whistleblower.
Brian Searle. Oh.
Brian Searle needs an AOC ripping into.
AOC will set him straight. That's right.
Go put your pronouns in your bio, kid.
So it was blocked as of the latest reporting.
Did they say who the highest bidder was or no?
I don't think so. No, but I think it was probably some Alex Jones allies that would want to keep him. But even if the Onion bought it, it would suck to lose that brand and all that hard work or whatever. But Alex Jones is InfoWars. They're not taking away his voice. He could just move to the AJN network or AJ network. Is it AJN network? Alex Jones network. And he would still be doing all the same stuff and would probably be bigger than ever. And if they didn't take the highest bidder, then the Sandy Hook victims' families are not getting their money's worth out of this. And so the government trustee is they're not serving the families, they're serving a political end.
Well, in theory, the families backed the Onion's bid. So, I mean, that's what
Well, I think the families, who knows I think the families, that's what I've read, what the families have been told. I don't know. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to be like, why didn't we get more money? We were owed $1 trillion.
Oh, that's their interest. I was going to ask, why does it matter what their input is on the sale of, but I don't know that their input officially mattered. I'm not sure how that works, but I've read that they had their blessing. I don't know.
I read that too, that it had their backing. And I mean, and this is all because of their suit that initiated it. So, I guess if they're the recipients of whatever the cash would be and they decided that's who they wanted to get. But I guess a judge disagrees. So we'll see. I don't know I'm curious who the highest bidder would be. Whistleblowers, protections, and agencies who will protect them. He went to Russia.
Taking information that the government is violating the law and giving it to a journalist who then reports it is the definition of a whistleblower. Go hang out with
Brian Searle's team on this one because
you have to prove that he shared it with a foreign government. You don't have any evidence of that. That has never been proven. Every reporting on it is just speculating. He gave it to Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras, and they reported on it, and the whole deep state went after him. You guys should go hang out with Mike Pompeo and Hillary Clinton because that's who you think like.
Ouch.
Oh, he called you a coward. Fuck.
Maybe the show needs a segment of a pardon fight between the Searle brothers. Just like the Krasenstein brothers, except the Searle brothers are on opposite sides of the political.
I mean, look, Snowden released some information about the U.S. government doing illegal things to its own citizens. Is he a whistleblower? Is he not a whistleblower? I don't give a fuck. Why is he the enemy?
Well, Brian Searle said he didn't give it to a journalist.
Who did he give it to?
Glenn Greenwald says that he gave it to him.
That's where all the reporting came from.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand. What?
Wait, Brad, are you actually are you just saying stuff or you're actually invested in this?
No, he didn't.
I'm not, invested. I don't know who's invested in this other than Snowden and Greenwald and their families. I'm not invested in this.
No, what I'm saying is, are you jokingly taking Michael's side right now? Or are you serious?
No, I don't. I think the people that want Snowden arrested for treason and totally ignore the fact that the U.S. government is doing highly illegal, shitty things to its own citizens, which he released. I think he did a great thing by releasing that to everybody. And nothing came of it. They still do all this shitty stuff. True. And so I guess we just know about it now and just don't care, which is dumb. But, saying that he's the bad guy, what are you talking about?
Okay, well, what I would like is for us to work around Brian Searle's schedule and come up with a time that we could actually have this conversation. Yeah, I think it would be quite interesting. A battle of the Searles, if you will.
No, he has disqualified himself. He released it himself online. Nonsense, Mike. No, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks released the WikiLeaks files that Chelsea or formerly Bradley Manning gave to them. It has nothing to do with Snowden. Snowden gave all the files in a little disk to Glenn Greenwald. They went through it together and decided what was going to be reported and what was not. It was all released by Glenn Greenwald through The Intercept, which is now a CIA-run operation, but formerly was a real journalism outfit. You don't even know what you're talking about, Brian Searle.
Okay, let's. I think Brian Searle's actually very smart.
Thanksgiving is going to be wild.
It always is. I love you, bro.
Well, Brian Searle, please send us your schedule, your availability, because we would love to set this segment up. I think it would be quite an interesting conversation. Everyone else, Tyler, thanks for tuning in. This was a great episode of this week's episode of the BCM Podcast, episode number 54, I believe. Please share it with your friends. Subscribe.
54, what?
It's like 58.
Sorry. 58.
Oh.
Please subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. Share it on Twitter for a free hat. You might win a hat. You would be entered into a raffle to win a hat.
Just copy the YouTube link, put it in a tweet, and tweet it out. Super easy.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe, like, share, do all the things. And that is a wrap. And Brian Searle, send us your schedule because we